I've always believed that liberty and freedom were synonymous. In fact, I found sources stating that they are synonyms. I personally have often used the two interchangeably. However, recently, by critically thinking about distinguishing between liberty and freedom, I've realized that this is not the case. According to Dr. Kerry Roberts, a historian at Liberty University, freedom comes from the Germanic term for a neighbor, and liberty has Roman origins and refers to the rights and duties. To separate the two, we have to further take a look at the definitions. So I'll define what liberty is, define freedom, and discuss the differences and the similarities between the two. Now, what is liberty? When analyzing liberty in the Bible, much of the use of the term refers to the ability to take action. Therefore, liberty is the ability to do as one pleases. Aristotle takes this a little bit further by implying that you can become a ruler if you are ruled. To reiterate, liberty can means you can act unencumbered. However, I think we all understand that to progress as a culture, there have to be some restrictions placed on society through laws, which some consider as boundaries. These laws provide a perimeter, if you will, for advancement, and it curtails socially unacceptable actions. Thus, even our laws, we recognize that we do have to restrict some liberties. So, on freedom. Freedom's the ability to self govern and to act as one sees fit without coercion or bondage. In other words, you can take responsibility for your own actions. According to Alexander Rosenthal Pubel, Greek philosophical tradition states that true freedom would mean mastery of his desires, or the ability to think in his or her own way. So, talking about the differences, liberty is not having restrictions imposed by someone else, and freedom is the ability to think and speak your mind. So, you can take the liberty, if you will, to change your life. In today's society, this brings the argument into a social and becomes a political issue. Therefore, I actually foresee this topic as being debated further in future generations. So, when we look at what's similar from researching this topic, I've determined that I was not the only one who thought that these terms were synonymous, as several items that I read intertwined the two. I came across blogs that showed long arguments about the differences and if the meaning is the same. And as I mentioned, there's been very prominent documents that use the terms synonymously. So, what I have concluded and determined is that one can have freedom without liberty, but you cannot have liberty without freedom. Throughout the development of Western society, the liberties provided by the established forms of government have helped shape our way of thinking and led to the freedom to use the mental capacities to develop, change, and work towards a common goal of humankind's advancement. I have the freedom to speak my mind without restraint, and that is partly because there is not an oppressive restriction imposed that says I cannot. Look forward to your comments, and thank you very much.